carve a spatula out of a piece of birch wood. I'm looking for something that's pretty green. At the same time, I don't want to cut a tree down, but I don't want anything that has been on the ground for a long time that's punky or rotted, like some of this here. And this is obviously no good. This tree here broke off at the top. It may be ready to fall, but I don't want to cut something down just to make a spatula either. I'm going to check around. These are definitely living, so I don't want to touch those. How long these have been on the ground, and we had a lot of rain recently. Yeah, this is all waterlogged. That isn't going to work. You can tell this has been sitting for a while. It's not really wet, a little bit here, but it's very light. I'm sure that's no good. It's interesting, you can see these small birches have grown vertically and they're trying to fight for space anywhere that they can get an opening and grow up, catch as much light as it can. That one has a bird nest on it. I'm gonna cut this one here. It's dead, broken off at the top. Bow saw. This piece is going to work. It's dry, but it's not overly dry, and it's not waterlogged or punky. So I'm going to see if I can make this work. I always like to put this blade guard in my pocket, because if you put it down, it blends in with the ground, you end up kicking it, gets stuck under leaves like that, you won't be able to find it. So it's just a good little tip. Always put it in your pocket. So what I need to do, I need to split it, get a wedge about maybe an inch thick, inch and a half. So I need to get rid of this end and this end and get a piece going down the middle. So it is a little wet in here, but if I can get this split right, carve it out, and then dry it out, maybe all right. So I want to be careful when I bring the axe down this way. You have the handle coming down here. If I bring it down too hard, it could split right down the middle here. That's what happened on one that I did a while ago. So when I get here to the sides, I'm gonna have to spin it. Handle will be here, and I'll have to cut it, because here's the angle the spatula comes down like this. I have to cut it in this way rather than go that way. So I have my outline here, a little curve right here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm pretty good here. I just need to come up, curve it here and down. I don't care if the handle's twisted. It's still very thick. So I've got it started here. I need to get more sliced off right here. I want to go in on an angle like this. So I've got pretty much the general outline of the spatula. I have the handle coming up here. I just need to use my knife, carve it around here, and then same thing over here. And then I use my knife to get this down about halfway. It's a bit thick through here. And then I'll use my carving tools and refine it and see what we can come up with. So it's starting to take shape. So I'm going to take a little bit more off of this side. Crooked, kind of curves in that way. But I'm not too worried about aesthetics. Mainly concerned with functionality. And then I just need to thin this out a bit more. Starting to take shape. Handle's a little thick. I'm going to get it down a bit more. What I need to do now is taper the spatula in. Actually, I'm going to taper it in this way, so I need it to come in like this. This needs to be cut off. Same thing here. This is nice and smooth. It's working out just the way I want. This is going to be the front of the spatula where the food comes up, and this is the back side. Smooth that out a bit more as well. This more of an angle, like so. This side's a little bit thicker. You can see my pencil line here. So you need to get that down a bit more. And I'm really enjoying this Hella Sigmund knife I picked up a few months ago. Very sharp, very light, handles very comfortable, fits perfect in my hand. And it comes with this leather sheath, pressed in. Picture of a moose here, a mountain, and you have, looks like a sun rays, and it says Norway on it. From what I understand, this is the same way they made the sheath back in the 30s when the company was started in Norway. And the blade, I believe, is made the same way it was in the 1930s, and the handle is made by the Sun, I believe in 2012. Dark walnut, leather pieces in there. So I want to put a bit of a curve right in here. That way when I go to pick up the food, my hand isn't level with the pan here. My knuckles aren't hitting. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but if I can get a bit of a curve in there, it might help a bit. Getting there. I just need to thin this out a little bit more, not too much. All right, so there's the spatula. I think it's plenty good. Could have made it a little bit thicker right here. I've got a bit of a dip right here, so it'll be perfect to scoop up an egg. All right, so I'm just gonna let it dry out, bring it back home, and then put some walnut oil on it. Let that dry and it'll be ready to go. Take it out into the field and see how it works. let it dry out 3 to 5 days, check it, and then get some walnut oil on it to protect it and bring out the grain. So we'll be flipping flapjacks and eggs in no time, and I'll be back in a little bit. So I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit more, get rid of some of these rough edges here, right here, on the other side, and then maybe the end right here. Just a little bit in here, not too much. I've got 120 sandpaper, and then I'll use some 180. Not looking to make it perfectly smooth. I like all these lines in the handles here. Gives it character. Just a few areas that I'm gonna sand down, like this area right here. A couple little marks and stuff I want to get rid of, but I don't want to take away too much. Finish it with this area right here. Smooth it out a bit more. Alright, I'll use some 180 grit now. Finish it off, clean it up, and then get some walnut oil on it. Alright, so I'm going to put some of this walnut oil on there to protect it and bring out some of the wood grain. So let's put a little bit on there. All right, gonna let that dry out, soak in for a bit, and probably put a second coat on there. All right, it's been a couple days since I put the first coat on. One more coat should do it, and we'll be in business. All right, looks good. My first one, actually my second attempt, my first one cracked right here. But live and learn, right? So let this dry out, and then eventually I'll get out there and cook with it, and hopefully it holds up for a while. Thanks for checking out the video. And if you want to like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And stay tuned for more. I'll see you on the next one.